What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another episode of Mandy's Entertainment Reviews. So, for this episode, we are reviewing the Untold Life and Death of Lamar Odom documentary. So, it is on Netflix. It was one of those Untold series documentaries where they tell like untold stories of sports. I know they have one for Brett Favre and how he like cheated the people of welfare benefits, and then there's one for Crittenton. So he is the guy who, or one of the guys who brought a gun to the Washington Wizards basketball game, basketball team's locker room. There's one for Ron Artest when he did the Malice in the Palace. They have a lot of great documentaries on there. It's a series on Netflix, and this documentary was released in March of 2025, so last month. The reason why I decided to do it is because I am a basketball fan. Well, not of current basketball, because I don't know who be playing in the NBA these days. But I do remember Lamar Odom's playing days very well when he was with the Lakers, winning championships with Kobe Bryant and all that stuff. So, it's only one part. And what did I think about this documentary is that Lamar came into the NBA during a time where like social media didn't exist, so 1999. We didn't have social media, we had the internet, but it wasn't what it is now. You know what I mean? So, because of that, public figures were kind of mysterious. And the only way you knew about your favorite celebrity, your favorite athlete, or anything is if they go and they do like this $1 million photo shoot, right, for Slam, Dime, ESPN magazine. And they do like an article and they do like a small interview. And then in the corner, bottom right, there is like a quick fun fact window where it says favorite food, favorite team, favorite athlete. Are you taken? Are you single? Stuff like that, you know. But yeah, no social media, just that. And when I was fully, I mean, I knew of Lamar because back in the day I had an Xbox One, so the original Xbox. Why did I call it an Xbox One? So the original Xbox, the big black box with the X in the middle and the little green like button or whatever. And I would buy like really old video games for the systems. If I had like an Xbox original, I'd buy really old games at GameStop in the, clearance bin that nobody really wanted to play or was picked over. Then I had an Xbox 360. I'd get like the NBA Streets or whatever, and Lamar would be on there. But I fully knew who Lamar Odom was when he was on the Kardashians, which was like probably around 2009, 2010. I remember watching their wedding. I was like in high school. So that's when I really knew who Lamar Odom was. And we also learned more about his incident when he overdosed on drugs at the brothel in Nevada. And also, this documentary reminds me of like how funny he is, because he was always so funny. Like on the Kardashians, he was always joking with Khloe and Rob and Courtney and the family and all that stuff. So, if you know, if you've been watching my documentary reviews, you know that I do my inter. We cannot talk today. I do my documentary reviews in KWL. So, what do I know about Lamar Odom? Is that he's from Queens. You know, when he was on the Kardashians, that's all he talked about, growing up in Queens, growing up playing basketball, when he played ball in high school, when he went to college, all that stuff. So he's from New York. He played for teams like the Lakers. So that's the team he won the championship with. He was with the Clippers. I remember that. That was very brief. He was with the Heat. I remember that. That was kind of brief as well. And again, the Mavericks, which was really brief, but actually this time a lot of people paid attention to it because it was on TV. I think like season 12, I want to say. No. In the later seasons of the Kardashians, they show that Khloe and Lamar moved to Dallas when he got traded to that team. Speaking of Khloe, he was married to Khloe Kardashian for almost 10 years, but they were really married for like maybe 4 of those 10 years. He did reality TV. He has 3 kids, and one of them sadly passed away of SIDS. If you guys don't know what SIDS is, it's sudden infant syndrome. sudden infant death syndrome. So he passed away. That I think the child would have been like 20 by now if what happened didn't happen. His mother died, and he had a drug addicted father, and he lost his best friend Jamie to drugs. I remember his father because he would make appearances on Keep It Up with the Kardashians or Chloe and Lamar, and every time he'd come on that show, it was like he was always asking for something, asking for money, asking for this and stuff. So I felt bad for him every time I saw his name was Joe when I saw Joe on TV. He had a drug overdose in a brothel in Nevada. He was in a coma and he was visited by Kobe Bryant. He recovered and got a divorce from Chloe. And he used to do Country Wayne skits too. I don't know if he still does them, but he used to do them. And lately he's been in and out of rehab. So, what do I want to know? Where did his drug addiction start? Because honestly, I remember watching Lamar on TV with the Kardashians. I didn't suspect any drug addiction. And when I found out that he overdosed in a brothel, I was like, whoa. Like, where did that come from? Because this dude I see on TV is tall. He plays basketball very well. It gives nothing about a drug addict. What about his childhood? Did his college years involve drugs? Because he went to some college in Rhode Island. Like, did he do drugs there? How did the Kardashians handle his drug addiction? And it kind of answers my question because as you watch like later seasons of the Kardashians, they kind of tiptoe around it. They don't use the exact words. They talk about it, but they don't talk about it. You know what I mean? So how did they actually handle that situation? Did Lamar Odom have a last conversation with his father because Joe actually passed away like a little under 10 years ago? How long did his recovery time actually take? And is drugs the reason why he got cut from the Mavericks? And was he in love with Chloe for real? The reason for the Mavericks question is because going back to watching the Kardashians, when they moved back to LA from Dallas, it was just, to me, they was just kind of tiptoeing around it, you know? So I want to know more about that. So as you guys know, my learns may or may not answer the questions I have, which is perfectly fine, but it's just something I learned. So the first thing I learned is that the bed that Lamar Odom OD'd on is in the Haunted Museum in Vegas. Now this goes to show that I still want to visit Vegas, but Vegas can be weird because why the heck would you keep a bed of someone who overdosed in? Like I bet Lamar probably don't even want to see that bed, so why would you keep it? Like in reality, you should burn that bed. Like, you know what I mean? Just don't put it in a museum. That's just weird. And probably holds a lot of bad memories, too. So, Lamar had 12 strokes, 6 heart attacks, and he was dead for 3 days. So, we should definitely call him a walking miracle because if you have a stroke, it's likely that, like, it could really mess up your brain or, like, any parts of your body. You could be paralyzed one side of your body and all that stuff. And looking at him in that documentary, he's moving around great, he's talking great. So that was really, really a true blessing. Lamar came to LA and trade with Shaq to Miami. Now, I do remember Shaq leaving the Lakers, but it's the same situation like I talked about in the Jerry West documentary. I know that Kobe Bryant was, drafted in 1996 by the Charlotte Hornets, and he was traded, but I don't know who he was traded for until it was really revealed it was Vlade Divac. So for Shaq to come to go to Miami and for him to come to LA, we know that now it's him that came to LA, and that's how he got there. Another thing that I found out was that Lamar violated a drug policy while with the Clippers. Now, with the way that the footage was shown, it was from like probably the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's something that could be found on YouTube and forgotten about because it happened so many years ago. So I didn't know that happened. He met Liza Morales in high school. Liza Morales is the mother of his 2 grown children. I always thought, because I knew of her, I probably always thought that he met her somewhere at a party in New York after the NBA, but nope, they've known each other since high school. His aunt revealed that his name was going to be Lamont, which would not roll off the tongue in 2026 if his name was Lamar Odom. That just doesn't scream NBA superstar. Joe and Kathy were estranged, so he kind of had like that un. What's that word I'm looking for? That not dysfunctional, but just unconventional parental marriage situation going on. So his parents were estranged. His mother died 2 days after 4th of July. Now, I knew she was deceased, but I didn't know she died during the summer. I did mention he went to Rhode Island. He had his first child at 1920, so he was a young parent. And that makes out because, yeah, those kids got to be at least like 20, 21 by now, and he's got to be like 40 something, 45 or something. So, yeah. He was drafted the fourth pick in the NBA, and he did not want to be drafted by the Clippers. And I got a question. Why do people treat the Clippers like the redheaded stepchild? Like, what did the Clippers do to anybody? I mean, I don't know if they still exist in 2026, but they don't bother nobody. They just mind their business. Y'all treat the Clippers so weird. This is not nice. Liza didn't want him in LA because it was a hot mess, so she probably knew something we didn't know until later because LA is a hot mess. LA in 99, the way people talk about it now, it might have seemed like a dream, like it was probably fun and clean and all that stuff. Because I went to LA in the early 2020s and it doesn't seem as fun and it doesn't look as clean. Still nice though, and hella expensive, by the way. When his son died of SIDS, Lamar was partying, which broke my heart to find that out. And so then after that, they moved into the Chloe and Lamar era. And they met at a Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, Meta Artest, whatever he wants to call himself these days, welcome to LA party. He was trying to, Chloe on the first night, but she wasn't going for that. She made a good choice. And then that's when, remember, they had that whole Kardashian special that they were getting married in like 30 days. And it was revealed in that documentary that the children didn't come to their dad's wedding. And I thought that was messed up. But at the same time, I understand because, back in the day, I mean, they still are in 2026, but the Kardashians was a huge freaking deal. Like, they, were everywhere. They had all the endorsements. They, if they had a guest starring role on a TV show, millions of people will watch. And them girls can't really act anyway. Don't tell them I said that. But they were just bigger than what they are now. So, so I guess they didn't want to be like put on the show, like, paraded around for show and stuff. And I get that. Meta World Peace, he said, that's supposed to be my boy. And he had me sitting at the back table at the wedding. I felt bad for him because if you're somebody's friend, especially if you know them for years, and you sit them at the back table, because the back table is very offensive at weddings. Why? Because you can't see anything that's going on. You could be sitting at the back table, but the freaking dance floor is crowded with people standing up, cheering and watching the couple or whoever's dancing, having a good time, and you just in the back, like, chilling, like, whatever, It was messed up. He didn't invite actual blood family to the wedding. And you know what? I went back and I watched the Chloe and Lamar wedding, and I noticed that, like, there was no family there. Nobody that looked like him genetic-wise, And I was like, where is this family? Why are they not here? It's, like, that episode came out when I was in high school. I didn't care about no family not being there, no kids being there. I saw the beautiful wedding dress, the beautiful mansion. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, Kim looks beautiful. But watching that growing up, it's sad at my age, and I'm 31, So I thought that was sad. And then he was said at his wedding to one of the wedding guests. I forgot who. I think it was Ron Artest or somebody. He said the move was to better his future. Now, it's messed up what he said, but I also get what he said. Messed up because it sound like and is the fact that he's using Khloe Kardashian. But y'all gotta remember, as the years went on, up went the Kardashians. Up goes went the Kardashians. Up went the boyfriends and the husband. Remember, Scott Disick. He was the first one. Scott Disick got on the show season 1. Scott was Courtney's boyfriend that Chris didn't seem to like, and then as years went by, up. Scott Disick is Courtney's baby daddy, who is still close with the family because he doesn't have any family because his parents are dead. He owns $1 million house, drives $1 million cars, all that stuff. Kanye West. Kanye West wasn't as public as he was when he married to Kim. Now he got Yeezy shoes and moving around the world acting weird, right? So it makes sense, but it didn't sound right to me. Khloe and Lamar was Lamar's idea. And the reason why I'm shocked about that is because y'all gotta remember the Kardashians had a run on the E channel. They had Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kourtney and Khloe take this. Kim and Khloe take this. Kourtney and Kim take New York. Blah, 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 blah. And you read these, these credits, and you see produced by Kris Jenner. I always thought it was a Kris Jenner thing, because Kris Jenner was producing them shows like crazy. Kris Jenner, what they said, Kris Jenner, the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder, because she was executive producing all them shows, and she had Kris Jenner Communications. But I didn't know it was Lamar's idea. So, and Khloe, I guess, didn't really want to do it. So she just wanted to be a wife and just kick back. But no, Khloe, you gotta work too. He didn't go to the Laker parade with kids, and he promised to take them. He partied the night before, and you know what's messed up? They told the story that, he ended up having to go because his trainer said so, and the kids were at home watching with their mom, and they saw their dad at the parade, and they were just like so heartbroken. My heart broke for them because it was just so messed up. Let's see. The first time he tried cocaine was in Miami. Now this one is self-explanatory. This one is every time you think somebody say Miami, what do you think of? Women walking around naked and cocaine, in my opinion. So the first time he tried it was in Miami, and obviously it's very obtainable. Hello. He won the Sixth Man of the Year in 2011. Either I knew that and I forgot, or I just never really paid attention to Sixth Man Year of the Year. Because by then, Lamar was everywhere. He was on magazine covers and all that stuff. He was everywhere. And how did I miss that? He would disappear to do drugs and blamed it on his son's death. So basically, he didn't have the right, therapy foundation. And he blamed everything on his son's death. He says he doesn't remember a lot because of drugs. Drugs really do mess up your brain. I'm not even trying to be funny. It really does. He failed 4 classes in 9th grade, and there was no consequences because he was a star athlete. I always thought that was on TV shows, but I guess it does happen in real life. It never happened in my high school because, I'm going to be honest with you, we ain't really had no star athletes. Back in the day, the ISHAA, they would take all the basketball teams, the high school teams in my area, and they go downstate to, I think, Peoria or Champaign or something, and that's where they play the championship. Well, I don't recall my high school ever going, so there's that. Side chick called Khloe to get her high husband. That shocked me. The nerve. Because when you the side chick, right, you're supposed to be, not known. You don't say no. You're supposed to be quiet. You don't call the wife to say, come get your high husband. But I guess, he got so high, it scared the side chick. So, yeah. Kris Jenner saw Lamar do drugs. And you know what? This doesn't surprise me because Kris Jenner, she seemed like the type to keep that secret. She didn't really talk about it on the show from what I've seen. So, yeah, she's holding that secret. And she's probably going to take that to, in maybe 50 years or so, to when she leaves this earth, too. Khloe would clean up drug hotel rooms to prevent tabloid stories. Now, this makes perfect sense because back in the day, them Kardashians will be on a lot of magazine covers. And had they found out about, the drug hotel rooms, everything would skyrocket to a point where everybody would be stressed. Nobody could live a normal life. You know what I mean? Because it's bad enough. The Kardashians, they live in like gated communities, right, in Calabasas. But people be walking on their property. So imagine if like a drug hotel room story got out, it'd be way worse. You know what I mean? So, and they had no privacy. They would go shopping. There would be photogs. They would go to Costco, photogs. So it would have been way worse. And he begged Chloe not to tell about his drug addiction because I guess in a way he was embarrassed or he didn't want to ruin his image, their image. I get it. Chloe mentioned that they weren't making money like that. That kind of took me back because back in like 2009 to 2015, like they had 1,000 endorsements and they had like mansions and Rolls Royces and stuff. Are you sure you didn't have money like that? Like their house in Tarzana was beautiful. It was gated in a gated community. Come on, somebody. Hello, like that doesn't make sense. Um, Lamar found out that he was being traded to Dallas on the radio. Again, I guess this is before, you know, social media was what it is now, where it works fast. But yeah, being found out you traded on the radio, that's kind of impersonal. Like at least your agent or somebody should text you, not being found out on the radio. The drug use increased when traded, and to a point where he was freebasing painkillers. I don't know how you do that, freebasing pain. I don't know how you freebase, but painkillers. I know you freebase cocaine, but painkillers, the pills, it's insane. He actually knew what the drug testing in the NBA was being tested for. It was like he probably memorized it or something. That's insane. And with the Dallas Mavericks, he was horrible because he was high. I don't even really remember him playing for the Mavericks like that. I remember on the show they moved to Dallas, but I don't remember him actually playing for Dallas. He signed with the Clippers in 2012. So I was like a senior in high school. And because when I was a senior, I transferred back to my public school I started with. So my senior year of high school was so busy, I didn't really watch a lot of TV. So I don't really remember him signing with the Clippers in 2012. I didn't even watch sports like that. And so yeah, I don't remember him signing with the Clippers. Chloe had to pump his stomach. So Chloe went through a lot with Lamar, and I guess that's why she kind of tiptoed around it when they talked about it on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because some of this stuff I'm finding out is traumatic as hell. Lamar chose divorce and intervention. I always thought it was Chloe that just went up and filed for divorce. Like, I'm filing for divorce. No, nope, it was Lamar. He chose divorce and intervention. And then this is the part of the doc where they talked about the Bunny Ranch where he overdosed. So they showed like where the property was and everything. It was torn down, so they didn't like have the actual building. It was trailers linked together, and I was like, how do you do that? Because trailers don't link together. Another thing I learned that my whole life, I heard that, oh, prostitution is legal in Nevada. Well, one thing I learned is that Nevada is kind of a desert-y state. It's not a lot of actual towns. There's Jean, Las Vegas, Reno, Sparks, the surrounding suburbs of Las Vegas. Things like it's not a lot of cities. And two, um, it's not legal in Vegas. It's not legal in Reno. It's legal in low population counties. So like those little small towns. If you play Grand Theft Auto, you know the town that Trevor lives in? Those type of towns. They have legal prostitution. He took sexual performance pills when overdosing. So I guess those like pink gas station pills or whatever. And Chloe said she had a dream that Lamar died the night before everything happened. So I guess that's in a way they were connected. So Joe Odom, his father was at the hospital. He wanted Chloe to turn the machine off. And Chloe also, he was Joe being Joe. She says that he came asking for money. She was in a hotel room. And he never came back after that. So I guess Joe took that opportunity to like kind of get something out of it. And of course, why Chloe was there is because they were actually still legally married. So if you're legally married, that's still legally your wife. She can make the legal decisions. And also, for a surgery that Lamar needed, guess who helped her make that decision? Kobe Bryant. And I thought that that was really kind and really nice of him to do that to help him out. And I think Kobe really did always look at Lamar like a brother because he was at his wedding and everything. So I thought that was really, really kind of him. And even though like I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan, I didn't respect him as a basketball player. But hold on, hear me out now. I didn't like him as a basketball player, but I respected him as a person, as a writer, and he's just a good person outside the basketball court. And I really enjoyed like watching his documentaries and reading his writing, publishing and stuff. So I really that really made my heart warm finding out that Kobe helped Chloe make such a heavy decision on something like that. And then Chloe revealed that drug dealers were trying to collect money and belongings from his hospital room. I was like, what the heck? That's crazy. And when Lamar woke up, he ripped tubes from his body, and that sounds very painful because they put like needles deep inside of you when they do like our IVs and stuff. And women from the Bunny Ranch sent him well wishes videos, and I was just like, what the why? The same place you overdosed at, and they're sending you get well videos? That's disgusting. Chloe was at the hospital with Lamar for 4 months. I didn't know it was that long because if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it was probably like the first 5 episodes of the season, and then it felt like she moved on in life. That's what I felt like. Lamar wants to go back to school to coach and graduate. I honestly think he would be a good assistant coach, and then he'll have to work his way up to coaching, if that makes sense. You can't just go and just be a coach all of a sudden. Just test the waters with assistant coaching and then work your way up. Chloe punched Lamar for smoking crack after incident. So after he went to rehab and all that stuff, she punched him in the face for finding out he was smoking crack. Now, okay, I kind of was wrong in the beginning. So she actually did file for divorce the second go round because she felt like she was taken advantage of. The first time it was his decision. It was during the intervention, but then his situation happened, and then yeah, all right. And then Lamar was at Kobe's last game. Again, 2016. I was preparing to graduate college, so I didn't really watch a lot of sports. So I didn't really see Kobe's last game on TV. And he also said he dreamed of Kobe, and they said afterlife isn't what you think it is. There's some parts in the Bible that says when you go to heaven, you don't recognize your loved ones and all this stuff. And I don't, you believe what you believe, but I guess he said that because he was probably, I don't know. But I do give this documentary a 4.5 stars out of 5. What I liked is that, Lamar's aunt, I think her name was Aunt, no, it wasn't Kathy. Kathy is his mother. But his aunt, she was so hilarious. She kind of reminds me of like my family members. I did like the Phil Jackson and the archival Kobe Bryant cameos. I see his family, his aunts, his kids, his exes were involved, and he looked healthy. And also the ending where he was spending time with his son, Lamar Odom Jr. What I disliked is how the part where they went into detail about finding, when Liza talked about finding baby Jaden when he died of SIDS. I didn't like the part where he promised to take the kids, he didn't take the kids, and the kids saw him on TV. It kind of reminds me of something from my childhood, but not exactly, but kind of parallel to it. And a lot of drama while he was in hospital, and Chloe bombarded with photogs. She was trying to go through the back door of the hospital, and photogs are there. Typical Kardashian stuff, but why are you at the hospital? So yeah, that is my review on the life and death of Lamar Odom Netflix documentary. It is still on Netflix if you want to check it out. And thank y'all for listening. Peace.